Hello, I'm Dr. Todd Cooper. I'd like to explain the physiology to the best of my understanding on how NRT actually works. This is for all the skeptics out there, and as I was 10 years ago before I learned this. So please try to pay attention. The body is, obviously, as we know, basically energy. Light being expressed through matter is really down to the physiology of what the body is. We know the body runs on electricity, electrochemical. Now whenever you pass away, it's the EEG waves going, not when your heart stops, but when there's no electrical conductivity in the body. That's when you're pronounced dead. So we are electrochemical creatures, all right? So we have an X amount of energy in our bodies. Well, what we're doing is we're measuring the capacity of the nervous system and how well it's functioning in relationship to organs of digestion and endocrine organs, glands and organs. They're mostly fed and controlled by a primary nerve called the vagus nerve. It's a cranial nerve number 10. Without the vagus nerve, nothing functions in your body. It's one of the most important nerves in your body. It feeds all these organs and glands from the neck and the ear all the way down, okay? So it's communicating with the brain what's going on. The vagus nerve is very complicated. There's still not everything known about the vagus nerve. So as I'm doing this, we're challenging her vagus nerve, okay? Now, what part of her brain, it's all a series of locks versus unlocks on this. Everything we learn, now there's more advanced to this, I'm gonna explain the basic premise beside the physiology behind it. If I challenge her and we were looking for a locked muscle, I'm going to push towards her feet and I want her to match my pressure, make sure she has a locked muscle. That muscle locks, okay? Whenever we find a finding, it's going to have an unlock. All right, so surface of the skin, nerve endings on your skin relate to organs on the inside. For instance, if I cut you open and touched your stomach, you wouldn't feel it. If I cut you open and touched your kidney, you wouldn't feel it. There's no pain sensory nerve endings on our organs. God knew what he was doing. Now, if I reached in there and twisted your kidney, you'd feel some pressure. But people with a kidney stone, they have back pain. If you have a lot of stomach trouble, you're going to hurt in the stomach. But if I touch your intestines, you wouldn't feel it. Well, what's up with that? There's nerve endings on the skin that relate to these organs, and when they're distressed, you'll feel it. It's called a dermatome. It's like this part of the skin, we call it organ reflexes, a distribution pattern on the surface of the skin because the nerve endings are so multiple and so sensitive. So when I touch, it's almost like a roadmap. Certain areas of the skin relate to these organs, and whenever I touch that area, it's like a challenge. I look at it like a challenge to the vagus nerve. Now, what does Ms. Tibbs here have to think about while I'm challenging her? Like she's thinking about holding the arm up. All her job is try to hold the arm still and matching my pressure. It locks. What it has to do that? There's a little tiny spot up here in the parietal lobe for muscle contraction, voluntary contraction of arm. Little tiny spot in the brain, okay? In my mind, if her body's functioning well, and I challenge, and I come down over here and I challenge the spleen, or if I challenge her stomach, if everything's functioning well, vagus nerve stimulation, body says, yeah, no big deal. Somebody's pushing on my arm, I'm holding it. If there is a weakness or a problem, if there is some type of problem with that digestive organ or gland, adrenal glands back here in the kidney, ovaries, right, our bowels. So let's say each spot, each point I touch is like a challenge. So let's say her liver's not doing very well. I come over here to the liver and I hold it, and whenever I put my hand there, it's a challenge. I look at it as if that vagus nerve, it says, whoa, I already have a problem with my liver. Now somebody's messing with the nerves that relate to it. That vagus nerve, it's your brainstem, it's in your brainstem. I think of it like glowing like a light bulb. It just glows. Well, that is gonna do an override on your cerebral cortex's ability to hold your arm up. It's more important. Your vagus nerve is more important. Your liver, the vagus, controls your heart rate, everything. So in my mind, it's a threat. It's like a mild threat to the body, calling it a challenge. I hope that makes sense because it just overrides that cerebral cortex. But then we find, how do you find out what's in there, what the problem is? The environment is in here. These are resonance kits. Every bug known to the CDC is in these kits. Okay, except the new one. Food sensitivities that are very common. Okay, metals and chemicals in our environment. So we place this on the body. We see if there's a reaction to the muscle. And then we have whole food-based supplements. We have homeopathic remedies and herbal-based supplements to help clean out that environment. And then we handle those essential 45 nutrients with all of our whole food-based vitamins. Unless they're eating it, either you eat it or you take it. So that's how and that is a tool as part of our nutrition department to help steer us where we're going with our testing and where we're going with the patient's case. And I've been doing this for 10 years, and I've helped more people in the past 10 years than I have in 30 years of chiropractic practice. It's amazing. It's amazing. Children, adolescents, gallbladders being removed at 16 years old. What is going on with our health in this country? Thank you for your time. Please call our office today and let's get you cleaned up.